Welcome everyone to another edition of the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show. It's great to be here on our special half-hour edition today. Filling right on time, but no, it's great to be here with all of you, joined alongside Gavin Tony. Gavin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Zach. I'm doing great. Listen, we had an interesting class this morning. We had to do a little statistics, and we did good. I want to say we did good. We did good.
No doubt. I mean, for sure, it was a good time. Still going off, but no, definitely, I agree, and I think that we definitely have a lot to go over today here, specifically in the NBA. NFL starts tomorrow. For those who are still interested, we got 2 spots left in fantasy tonight. 8:15 is a draft, so stay tuned. I'll probably tweet out some final teams afterwards, specifically Gavin's and myself, and we'll be doing coverage every Monday and Friday on the show for fantasy. So we look forward to having everyone join us. It's gonna be a fun time.
It's gonna be a great time, and there's a little personal bet between me and Zach going on here. Is whoever could place just between us two, not regarding to the whole league. Just a little bet between us two. Whoever comes ahead of the other one, lose us to buy winner lunch. So that's what we're
It'll
going
be
with.
fun. It'll be fun when Gavin buys me lunch, but no, we'll have to continue
Oh,
as we
okay.
progress. We got look. I mean, season starts tomorrow. Texans, Chiefs. We got 2 games we're going to go over today. Very excited to be here, but we're going to start off with the NBA. I did not have an opportunity to watch the game at all last night, but I did read over. Not much to really look into here. Giannis got hurt. Obviously, he was in when they went down 3-0, so it's not like that's the only reason that they lost. But gentlemen swept. They were down 3-0. They win one game. They lost 103-94 was the final score. Jimmy Butler had 17 and 10. Anyone specifically here? Goran Dragic had 17. That bench really did well last night. Chris Middleton,
Fantastic.
23 points on 32% shooting. Not really a great night for him. It's over, Gavin. The Bucks, the 1 seed, the team that was slam dunk to make the NBA Finals, unless it was the Sixers. Sixers fell out early. Now it's going to be most likely Boston and Miami, or maybe Toronto and Miami. But since the first time since 2014 that Miami's in the Eastern Conference Finals, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, congratulations to Miami Heat. There's a bunch of dogs on the team. Listen, they got a whole bunch of go-getters and Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. You got Tyler Hero, who's really playing over the expectations everyone's giving him. Gordon Dragic is still there. Duncan Robinson really burst onto the scenes. That's obviously one of my. If there was a team MVP pick, one out of the three would be Butler, and then it'll go Duncan Robinson, and then the third person is a toss between two people. But Zach, they're also well coached as well. Defensively, they're fantastic. They single in on Giannis this whole series, and when Giannis went out, I wouldn't say the game plan to stop Giannis kind of fell through because he got hurt, and then they didn't know what to do. So I think that's why they lost. Then the next game they singled in on Middleton, and the rest is history from there. But Zach, going to the Bucks standpoint, they started off great. They had a 13-point lead in the first quarter. You would kind of thought they were going to put a bigger fight. It was a good game until arguably the second half. In the third quarter, they did not score at all almost in the third quarter. Went scoreless for almost 8 minutes.
No doubt. So now the question is Miami going to make the NBA Finals? They haven't made it since 2014 with the big three. They're going to be playing either Toronto, Gavin, or Boston. If they play Toronto, I think it's no question that Miami's going to the finals. But Boston, it's going to be a good series. And I mean, for our generation, it's going to be great to watch Boston versus Miami. We've seen that quite a bit in the past. But Boston versus Miami could potentially be what the Eastern Conference Finals are looking like. No one thought it would be that. A lot of people before the season were saying Sixers and Bucks, even Bucks and Celtics. But Gavin, I mean, this is definitely interesting playoffs. It's been an interesting season altogether. I think that's definitely overstated quite a lot because it's been quite a weird season. But we got Miami. We got Miami going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're the 5 seed, and they're going to be playing either Boston or Toronto. That game is tonight. If Boston wins, they go on to the conference final. But if Toronto wins, we're going to Game 7. Gavin, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, Zach, first off, if it's Boston and Miami, that would a treat. That would be a treat. That's a 7-game series easily. And I wouldn't be surprised if Miami comes out and wins. Zach, this is if you talk about Boston versus Miami, right? Think about it. Two great defensive teams, both arguably have the respective players on offense as well. Both are well coached, Eric Spoelstra and Brad Stevens. Arguably, Eric Spoelstra could be coach of the year. Zach, it doesn't get no better than this. I gotta ask you, in a 7-game series, who do you have? I got Miami in 7.
I mean, Tatum's going to struggle against that defense. The coaching is just too strong. Yeah, I mean, if Gordon Hayward comes back, I'll take Boston in 7, but I'm taking Miami in 6 right now. Look how they took down Milwaukee. I mean, you can't deny how good they've been.
They destroyed Milwaukee, and people are going to say, well, they didn't have Giannis, but newsflash, Giannis was there. And still,
3.5 games.
exactly, and nothing was happening. So I think when it comes to the next series, if it is Boston, I think it is Boston. I'm leaning towards Boston tonight, but I believe that if Boston wants to win this series, it's going to come out to be a guard play. What I mean by that is going to be a lot of Kemba Walker.
Jaylen Brown.
And Jaylen Brown, yes.
Because Tatum's going to struggle. Those guys are going to need to be able to shoot and produce.
They're going to have no choice but to shoot and produce. They're going to, and also too, you're going to have to do the decoy. Remember when Michael Jordan had the so-called flu? It was really the sunflowers. Thank you, last answer that. But he said he just wanted to come out there as a decoy. I think Jason Tatum's going to be the decoy, but Kemba Walker is going to be the guy. He has to be the guy.
It's going to be a chess match. You got two really talented coaches there. But Gavin, tonight, Boston, Toronto, who are you taking?
I'm taking Boston series over.
I'm taking Toronto. They're going to Game 7, but I think Boston will ultimately win it.
I mean, it could go either way.
Fred VanVleet drops 30 tonight. He shoots insane beyond the arc, but it's going to be a fluke.
Nick Nurse is a great coach, and then you got Pascal Siakam, who's doing Shawn Michaels.
Almost every team left right now has really great coaches. Eric Spoelstra, great coach. Brad Stevens, great coach. Nick Nurse, great coach. In the Western Conference, Doc Rivers, great coach. A couple other teams, not so much. But Mike D'Antoni could arguably be a great coach, but his job's very much on the line this year. But Gavin, anything else you want to say here on the Eastern Conference before we shift over to the Western Conference?
This is actually the first year the Eastern Conference is not disappointing.
It's surprising. It's surprising. Coming up now, we're talking about the Western Conference. Gavin, the Lakers handily in the fourth quarter win Game 3. LeBron had a great first half. Davis a great second half. Kuzma stepping up. Rajon Rondo having a fantastic fourth quarter. Gavin, you're sleeping on the Lakers still. I know you are. You told me Rockets are still winning the series. What are your thoughts?
They are going to win this series, and here's the problem. What happened last night, Zach? I personally got to watch this disappointment firsthand. All right, I turned off the PlayStation around 10:30 just to watch this disappointment unfold, and I was disappointed. I came down the stairs and on the TV and had my Oreos and my water. And disappointed is the exact word. Look, I will say this, Zach. The reason why the Rockets had a game, I don't want to say one, but it should have been close.
They were up by 2 going into the fourth quarter.
They're up by 2. Then they actually had a 5-point lead, and then it just went there. Late game turnovers were the meta in this Rockets downfall. Where Covington takes a nasty elbow from unnecessary elbow, but I just think that if the turnovers don't happen and Russell Westbrook, see, you can't be mad at this too. Russell Westbrook and James Harden 30 and 33 combined. That's 63, just like that. But that's not enough. And then you get no production for anybody else. Jeff Green, 16.
No, I mean, I'm going to read off the stats here, Gavin. We said this before. For the Rockets to win this series, statistically, they need to shoot a better field goal percentage 4 out of 7 games. They need all 7 to win. Who do you think last night had the 33% three-point percentage, and who had the 40% three-point percentage?
I feel like James Harden had the 40, or excuse me,
the Rockets.
The Rockets had the Rockets did, and it's just one of these tricky things where you just look at it and you're like, how?
The overall field goal percentage, the Lakers had 55.1 and the Rockets had 46.9. However, three-point shooting wise, both teams took 30 three-point attempts.
Rockets were better at it.
30. And the Rockets were 12 of 30. And then the Rockets were 14 of 14 from the line. Total rebounds, 43 total for the Lakers with 9 offensively. And for the Rockets, they had 30 and 6 offensively. But I'm going to tell you this, Gavin. JaVale McGee didn't play that much last night. Dwight Howard's not even dressed. Anthony Davis is going to be playing stretch 5 a lot for the rest of the series. The series is over. The only reason the Rockets have had it is because you got 2 bigs on the floor. If a big has to go up against the Rockets, Anthony Davis is the best one. He moves well. He shoots well. He posts up well. McGee can't be in there with this kind of speed. Anthony Davis might still struggle a little bit, but they're going to go smaller, and they're going to end up coming out on top. And I have them in 6.
So you do see the Rockets getting another game?
Yeah, Rockets get the next game. I think the Rockets even it up. They put a little bit of concerns on the Lakers, but I think McGee doesn't even start after the next game, even if he does. But I think McGee's not starting after the next game. I don't know if he will start this next game, but they got to go smaller. You got to go smaller to outmatch them.
Well, you gotta go small. I mentioned, but Zach, they just come so close, and they just fall at the end. They had the lead going into halftime. They ultimately had the lead the whole first 3 quarters and going into the fourth, and then lost at the end. You got
Now, I have to mention one thing. What are your thoughts on LeBron James having 4 blocks last night?
Okay, does he want a cookie?
38 minutes, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 36 points, and 4 blocks.
Does he want a cookie? I'm trying to ask.
He won the game. He got the victory.
But does he want a cookie? Because he's 6'9". He's supposed to be getting blocks.
4, Gavin? Come on, man. That's like
Zach,
that's a prime Dwight Howard numbers right there. You got to give him some sort of credit. His defense has been great in this series. You've been saying his defense has been slipping off the past few years. All right.
Well,
the one knock that we have on him over Michael Jordan is he's not as good defensively, right? And Kawhi Leonard is a good defender. You got to give LeBron some sort of credit for stepping up right now. Like, it's his job. You're right. It's his job. If he wants to be the GOAT, he has to, and he's doing it. So, I mean, what's the issue?
He shot. I'll say this. He did shoot really well from the free throw line last night. He shot 60%.
Above average for him.
Above average, just a little bit. But Zach, you don't. LeBron James, in my eyes, right? Yeah, he did this. Yeah, he did that. Yeah, he got the blocks. Oh, well.
He's doing what he's supposed to. You're saying, oh, well, because you have those high expectations of him.
He's going against a small team.
36. Yeah, 36, almost a triple-double, and 4 blocks on top of that. If you're saying, all right, you want a cookie, that means you expect that.
Does he want one?
And that's insane numbers. 36 points in a playoff game. 36. I mean, he had the 41 point when him and Kyrie Irving had 41 in Game 5. I'm sure you remember that one.
I feel like, once again, and this is always going to be the knock on LeBron James. Remember this. Remember I said this. He needs other people for him to help him win a championship. Remember that.
All right, and Michael Jordan didn't need it.
But
when it goes both ways, not but no.
Hold on.
It goes both ways.
But hold on. Give me a second. But give me a second.
It's not golf. It's a team sport, Gavin.
But give me a second. There's a difference from them getting you help for you asking for help. Let's get that out the way.
He's not gonna win with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, JaVale McGee, and a bunch of scrubs. Like,
so are you making it so
there? What's some of last year? The coach had no idea what he was doing.
But I hear from LeBron fans all over the time. Well, he took Jordan Clarkson and this guy to the finals and lost to the Warriors. Okay, so why can't you do it on the Western side? You're supposed to be just
one bad year, Gavin, and he was hurt for a portion of it.
He was there for a majority of it.
First round eliminations. Neither thing should invalidate either of them from the GOAT conversation. You look for a reason to cherry pick at a guy and figure out why he's not the GOAT, you'll find it. But you got to.
I will say this about LeBron James. 17 years, right, in the league, and he's still jumping at the gym. That's pretty impressive. Okay, I'll say that.
It's crazy. Coming up after this, everyone, it's a shame we didn't get everybody on here for the GOAT debate. A little bit of it today. We are going to have to continue with it as the Lakers continue to advance through the playoffs. But coming up after this, a surprising decision in OKC and what this could mean possibly for the Philadelphia Sixers. Stay tuned. We are now offering a new product on our Teespring. Wear a mask in public. We are now supporting a custom designed mask with our logo on it. Purchase it today, and 10% goes to a foundation of our viewers' choice. It offers a full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes 2 2-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product, and finally, $1 from every mask sale is donated to a nonprofit to feed children in need. Enjoy today's episode. Welcome back, everyone. Again, continuing to try to get on the go and show off the face mask. It's pretty exciting. For those who may just missed our last segment, go back and watch it. It got a little feisty with the GOAT debate. Thank goodness we had commercial breaks, so this could have gotten a lot worse. But in all seriousness now, Gavin, this interesting moves in Oklahoma City. Arguably a Coach of the Year candidate. Billy Donovan is leaving Oklahoma City. Apparently, there is some mutual interest between him and Philadelphia. Again, Teron Lewis seemed to be the front runner so far. Jay Wright has it respectively turned down the offer. Not necessarily offer, but said he would not be interested in being a candidate. There's a few other candidates out there. But Gavin, is this a match made in heaven? Is this a perfect situation for the Philadelphia 76ers?
Well, first off, here's the thing. I want to say this. That's kind of a stupid move for Oklahoma City just for what he did. He took a team that wasn't supposed to be anywhere near the playoffs nor be that high to begin with. And Zach, you do that, and now you lose him, and you just walk free. No,
I think
no.
it's similar to how Jason Garrett's situation. He had a contract extension. They mutually agreed to part ways.
Well, first of all, if you ask any Dallas Cowboys fan, you ask John Warner, they wanted him to go a long time ago. All right, I wanted him to stay personally. Zach, as Eagles fans, we want him to stay because you know what? The slow clap doesn't mean he's going to make it.
Maybe do you think that OKC might be trying to purposely tank by getting rid of him? It helps. Maybe they can. Brett Brown would be a great coach for them right now, honestly.
So you want to trade coaches? Here's the thing, Zach. I would love for Billy Donovan to be here, right? I think that the list is between Tyronn Lue and Billy Donovan. I'm looking more towards Tyronn Lue, right?
Like Tyronn Lue more?
Just a little bit because of his resume. You got to think about Billy Donovan blew a 3-1 lead in the Western Conference Finals, right? Tyronn Lue, even though he had LeBron James on his team, with kind of coaches himself, he doesn't really let you talk, really. That's just an inside joke.
Imagine being able to coach yourself. That's like GOAT status right there. But
Okay,
anyway,
Jordan was able to win games by himself.
We are down to one more spot in the fantasy league. Join up if you need the link. Contact Gavin or myself. One more person. Draft tonight 8:15. But Gavin, continue.
Real quick, I think we're going to get Trent in that last spot, maybe.
All right, that works. Awesome.
Anyway, Zach, going back to what I was saying. When you look at Tyronn Lue, it's just the experience, in my honest opinion. You already got to work.
I like. Sorry to interrupt you, but I don't like Tyronn Lue. As our coach, I'd be fine if he did come here. He got the experience. He's under Doc Rivers now. He's had some good years to really take the step back. But you need a guy like a Jimmy Butler or a guy that can be a director on the floor for Tyronn Lue's coaching style to work. You need someone to really get like Ben. I mean, he could be the guy. I can be mistaken. But you have to get guys like not Jimmy Butler, like Ben Simmons to shoot, or else he's being benched for a while. You need someone to give them that push that Jimmy gave a lot of the players, and you need that in a coach now. So I think Billy Donovan would be a great candidate for that. Again, if Ty Lue can do that for us, I'd be thrilled and ecstatic. He sure as heck has the resume to do it. I'm happy with either pick, honestly.
Either one of those picks will be fantastic. Once again, I just go off of what I've seen with Tyronn Lue.
Under Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers is a very
under Doc Rivers, and you got to work with one of the best players in the world right now, Kevin Durant. Arguably, when healthy, I think he might be better, but we'll get into that another day. Zach, just the experience on Tyronn Lue, and then just how Billy Donovan was able to coach a team that wasn't supposed to be anywhere near the playoffs, and nor was that high. I think you can't go wrong with either one of these guys. I think Tyronn Lue holds just a little bit more leverage, but not by a lot.
We'll see what happens. Honestly, I mean, I'm happy with either one. I mean, this is just an interesting team that needs something. It needs help, both as from the mental side of the game with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid getting mentally tougher. There's a lot of aspects that you need. So
that's why I like Tyronn Lue, just like that.
And I hope so. I hope he will be a good fit. Allen Iverson can maybe give him not an apology, maybe make amends with him after what he did to him in 0-1. But I'm sure Tyronn Lue was happy with the results of that series. But
Tyronn Lue will ever be known for that.
Coming back 19 years later, let's talk about tonight. We've already talked about Toronto and Boston. Gavin, Denver, and Los Angeles. Who are you taking?
Taking the Clippers. Look, I think even though this series is going to go to 6, I do believe the Nuggets get one more game. This is not this one right here. Playoff P showed up last game. Kawhi Leonard with a finger block, and this team is just great. Defensively, offensively, it doesn't matter who does it. Mike Malone or Karl Malone, or not Karl Malone, Mike Malone, I think that's what the coach's name for the Nuggets is. Made some comments about Patrick Beverley. I'm pretty sure Patrick Beverley's going to come out and bring his all tonight.
See what happens.
The Clippers win tonight.
All right, I'm going to go with Denver. I think Denver evens the series up, but I still think the Clippers win it. But win the series, but I still think it's going to be a good series. Denver's a better team than a lot of us initially thought, but they are the 3 seed, so you got to give them props. And coming up here after this, the Philadelphia Phillies win the majority. Gavin, I guess 50% kind of counts. They split with Boston, their doubleheader yesterday, and now they fly to Miami for 7 games. Should be fun. Coming up after this.
Would you like to know how you can support the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show? If so, head down to the comments on our YouTube channel. You will see 2 links there. The first is our Teespring, where you can see a wide variety of apparel products, including our signature product, the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show sweatshirts, offered in a variety of different colors, including gray, navy blue, and more. Finally, we have our Patreon page, where you can become a monthly donation member. 10% of all donations go towards an organization of our viewers' choice. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you can't donate, that's okay, because you can always share this.
Welcome back, everyone. This month, September, is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, so all 10% of all proceeds that we receive this month on the Teespring and Patreon are going to be going towards that. We look forward to continuing to share that with you as we supported in the past. Trying to have a wide variety of different organizations we support as we continue to spread the word and news on here, as many people are deeply affected by these causes on a daily basis. We want to make sure we can do our part and then we get returned in the future. That's part of being a community. It's some of the things we emphasize. And friendly reminder from two Thursdays ago, fantastic show as we continue to have our conversation and discuss on here about the real world issues and talking about action. Make sure you can go back and watch that show if you do have the opportunity to.
The talk continues. You gotta have them. A lot of people don't want to have these talks, but they have a lot of thoughts. You don't know what people are thinking. You don't know how people are feeling. It's great to have talks. Zach, we had a talk on air. We had multiple talks dating back to June about what's been going on. So it was good. I'm glad we were able to bring it live, and that's not the last time we'll be doing that.
No doubt, conversation and action will always continue, and that's one of our big goals. Tracing it back now here to what unites us all here in the sports world. The Phillies win a walk-off manner with Alec Boehm yesterday, winning the first game against Boston. They lost a tough one. The second one, really, offense never got started. I'm going to double-check here, but I believe the Phillies are 1.5 games back of Atlanta. They got crushed last night by Miami. And speaking of Miami, the Phillies have to play them, I believe, tonight or tomorrow. They start. They're 21-18, 1.5 games back, and they will be playing tomorrow night. They get 1 day off. They're playing tomorrow at 6:40, and then they're playing Friday at 5:10, and they're playing Friday again at 8:10, and then Saturday at 6:10, and then a doubleheader Sunday at 1:10 and 4:10, and then Monday at 4:10. So we're going to be seeing a lot of Miami, probably more than I would want to. But Gavin, 7 games. What are we going to do?
Well, Zach, you already know I'm going to say I should.
Majority.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, we're sitting perfect right now. Zach, I got the standings as well. And you're seeing 21-18. They're sitting at 19-18. You got a 2.5 game lead. Forgive me if that's wrong, but you have a nice little lead over Miami, and you're 1.5 back from Atlanta.
Yeah, one game flat over them.
One game, and Zach, if you could beat Miami, the majority, you could sit at first place. Remember, there's no Acuna, no.
Yeah, if you have a really good week and you win 5 or 6 of those games, assuming you drop 1 or 2 of the doubleheaders, you could very arguably be in first place over Atlanta.
Exactly, and real quick, and I just want to say, remember, there's no Ozzy Albies, there's no Ronald Acuna, there's no Mike Soroka, and there's probably somebody else I'm missing. I forget, slipped my mind. Atlanta's hurt right now as well.
Mm-hmm. Take advantage.
They're trying to get them.
Take advantage. Your health of the pitching is going along. The offense is clicking. JT's been struggling, but hopefully he can come back. Andrew Knapp's been good off the bench for us. Reese Hoskins has been on fire. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Keep it going, and you're in a place where even though Cito Sanchez, yes, is doing great right now. We traded him for JT, or we traded JT Realmuto for him, or excuse me, other way around. Cito for
JT Realmuto.
And he's been doing great for Miami, so that's great to see. I'd like to see someone from Miami actually doing great. Just going to know they're going to trade him away in another year probably. So be all right.
The story of Miami, Gavin.
Yeah, Christian Yelich, JT Realmuto. Is there somebody else as well? Oh, Giancarlo Stanton. After his NL MVP season too.
After it. All right. So that wraps that up. We're talking about now the NFL. We're doing 2 games a day until Friday. Gavin, I just thought of this. On Friday, we're going to be talking Eagles. Predictions, game plan. That's kind of exciting.
It's going to be exciting, but if you guys thought we were really emotional about the Sixers or Phillies.
I can't. Dude, Monday, we started this back in June. So Monday, for us to come on here and talk about Eagles post-game is crazy to think about, honestly.
And if we lose, all hell is going to break loose.
I'll try to keep my composure. I don't get to go to the game, so I can't get as angry. My poor TV might take more abuse this year than it usually does.
You know, it's like that might be a fun little watch along.
No, I'm not. I can never. I think I'll get kicked off the show for some of the stuff that I say during that. All right. Well, maybe a more low key game. I mean, Washington's pretty low key, but I don't want to sleep on them. But in all seriousness, we are going to start off. We'll do 3 games today because we're doing the math here. We're going to need to do a few more. Gavin, Ravens, Browns, Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Big trust. Woo woo. Listen, Baltimore's gonna come in. Is it in Baltimore or is it at
It's in
home?
Baltimore at M&T Bank.
In Baltimore. So Baltimore's gonna come out here. They're not gonna do what they did against the Dolphins in week 1. I think they come out here, they score 28 points, and they hold the Browns to 14. And the Ravens look good. They're gonna start off 1-0.
16-0. They have to. That's my big. I have 2 takes this year. One's more cold than the other, but that the Ravens go 16-0, and that the Lions win the NFC North. But going into our second game here, Gavin, the Colts and the Jaguars in Jacksonville. I'm taking the Jaguars. I'm not buying the tank. I think that Gardner Minshew is a really good quarterback. I think that the Colts are going to have a good defense, and the Colts are going to end up being better than them. But week 1, I think they're going to catch them by surprise.
I'm not buying the tank either. I think they're gonna get a couple games this year. They're not gonna get the first pick, but I don't like
We don't need Trevor Lawrence to leave Gardner Minshew.
exactly. I don't like the Phillip Rivers pick, but I'm not gonna go against the better team here. I'm going with the Colts this game. They're
We'll
all
see what happens. They got a lot of running backs, great O-line, and great defense.
yeah, Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor, and the wide receivers are there too. So
All right, and then finally here, Gavin, the Eagles and the Washington football
team.
team,
Yeah.
which I don't know why they still haven't named them the Red Tails yet, but we'll see.
Warriors.
Hopefully they'll be named. Gavin, I'll let you go first.
Every year I come on, or Zach, we have a talk about the Eagles versus the Washington football team. I almost said you know what team, but it's not a team no more. We come out here, we start out great, or excuse me, we go to a slow start. Last year we got to a slow start. 2 Deshaun Jackson touchdowns really got us rolling. Vernon Davis turned back the clock on us and hurt somebody and stiff arm, looked like beast mode in Lincoln Financial Field. Let me relax for a second. The Eagles are going to start off the season 1-0 and a 31-14 victory over Washington. But it's going to be a slow start like always.
I think the offense struggles, but the defense is that good this year. So I'm going to take them. I'm going to take them 17-7. And I'm hoping it's not as nerve-wracking as that score sounds. I hope it's like 17-0 at the end of the game, and then they score a late touchdown that means nothing. But we got a lot to cover with the Eagles here coming up soon. But other than that, Gavin, I'll keep talking about my Detroit Lions. I think they're still winning their division this year. I'm excited to see it. But tomorrow we'll be predicting the Raiders and Panthers, the Bears and Lions, the Seahawks and Falcons, and the Dolphins and Patriots. And then the day after that, we'll be covering the rest, except for the 2 games on Monday Night Football. We'll cover those on Monday. That's the Steelers and Giants and the Titans and Broncos.
Oh, God, that's horrible. Why would anyone want to watch it?
It's Monday Night Football, Gavin. What do you
Why would anybody want to watch that? I don't want to watch that.
I'll watch any football, honestly. I'm sorry.
I know, but no one wants to watch that.
But I do have to ask you, how weird will it be without fans?
It will be a little bit.
We've adjusted every other sport without fans. But
It
football
will be a little bit weird.
is different.
It will be a little bit weird because in football you don't really see the fans as much. Only when you score a touchdown or something. I think when it comes to missing fans, I think of the hockey, the baseball, and the basketball because especially
The finals will be weird.
yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today on this quick edition of the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show.
Go Clippers, baby.
The next 2 days, Gavin's saying let's go Clippers, let's go Lakers tomorrow night.
Fantasy draft tonight as well.
And fantasy draft 8:15 tonight. I'll be tweeting out some of the picks. You guys get to vote on who has the best team. And Gavin will be buying me lunch at some point in February. But with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this edition. Have a great day.
I want some wings.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all to get reminded of when we go live and when we post excerpts of our videos. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great